Hello and welcome. My name is Greatman AYILARA. I'm very excited to be on your screen again today on a fresh episode of Wake Up Africa, where we will be talking about the greatest con artist in Africa. The greatest con artist in Africa. We have been examining a lot of people, and this is a part 4. We are doing this not to attack anybody's personality, but to maybe we can save some people from the obvious deceit that is within their face or within their reach, and they cannot point out. Today again, we will be cross-checking some folks who are playing a major role in destroying Africans. I will use the word destroy so we will know the gravity of what they are doing. I welcome everybody again. You know how we do, just go ahead and share, send to the inbox of people, put the link on your social media platform, and also interact by putting down your opinion at the comment section. Today we have a lot to talk about, and we shall do that effectively. But we will start today's program by checking out a certain video that I consider eye-opener, which a lot of people are not embracing. It is Oh, sorry about that. We are having an issue today. Sorry. There's this particular video. I'm trying to see how we can get that done. Hold on, people. All right. I saw the video, and the video is about a sheep, some sheep, and the shepherd, the German shepherd, or what they call it. And it's explained truly the relationship between people and their men of God. Some of these men of God are the folks you are seeing today that we are going to be cross-examining. You are the brook of the river, but you are not able to drink of the water that flows in the river. Not because you can't, but because someone chose to be an intermediary between you and what belongs to you. And they call themselves pastors, they call themselves shepherds, while you are sheep. And outrightly, what they are up to is what this particular video is all about. I wish we can have a larger screen of it. I'm going to be playing it. I hope it plays for you. It may not have audio, but we will be able to get something from it. These are 2 dogs, and these are sheep. And you can see them trying to bar the sheep from accessing the grass. This is what goes on in the so-called churches that you go to. As long as you call yourself a sheep and you have a shepherd, these are German shepherd, right? Outrightly, what is happening in those places called places of worship, where you are the one who paid the money, but your pastor is the one who fly private jet. You are the one who paid the money. Your pastor is the one who gets the profit from the schools he opened, from your tithe and offering, from the hospital you open, from your tithe and offering, and from every single thing you call kingdom investment. Yeah, you see the grass there? That's the kingdom investment. You all collected money together to make this grass grow, but when it's time to share it, you become a bastard in that kingdom. The shepherd is always coming after you, ensuring you have no taste of what belongs, the chunk of it. The cake, the kingdom cake, does not belong to you, the sheep. It belongs to the shepherd, who is the administrator of God. On that right note, we'll start today. And I'm just hoping one way or the other, this will minister to you like those folks says, and you will have a rethink. Today we will complete the examination of J. Israel, and we will now go ahead to speak about the man of the moment, always controversial. J. Israel was saying a lot of things that we were examining the last time we met together on this kind of gathering. And we try to correct him. If he listens to correction, that's good. If he doesn't, that's his own problem. But before we do that, I learned that one of these pastors who is always making mouth and forming Van Damme everywhere has now been jailed by the Lagos High Court. His name is Pastor Oladele Ogundipe. He's been jailed for fraud. You know, a lot of women have been coming out talking about how he slept with them under false pretense, several things, allegations, how he's just sucking money from them and all that. And he's not been keeping quiet a lot. He's not been apologetic enough. He's not been accepting some of his error. He's been at loggerhead with them. And you know what I always tell young men out there is that women can make you up and they can also mess you up. You just have to know the part of women you want to harness by time. And eventually this case has been on since 2007 or thereabout. And this time around, they got him. He will be serving jail time for 2 years. Maybe he will be appealing, I don't know, but it's on record that the man is an Elewan now. Elewan. He will know what it takes to be in prison of some sort. Most of these people, if Nigeria is working, if we have a good justice system the way we should, you realize that most of these people should be behind bars. They are unlawful, they are lawless, they are criminals. Absolute criminals. That's who they are. You can view more of this detail on your news channel to get more of why and how he will be going to prison. Remember that Sotito Bire also has been put in jail, who used a child as a charm on his altar. It is those who do not have mouth or those who want to be used as scapegoat that we are seeing. I'm telling you the absolute truth that all of these people with the cupboard they carry around, it is not even skeleton. You see fresh human head in their skeleton. From the aged to the lowest of them. As long as you preach this Bible, you are a criminal. That's what I always say. As long as what you believe in and what brings food to your table is this Bible, you are a criminal. And there's no way you are not going to be involved in all this stuff. All right, so that being said, we want to continue with what J. Israel said the other time. When we are done with that, we will be cross-examining Adeboye. J. Israel was talking about the Catholic folks in the magnitude of his own ignorance and on his quest to save African people from religion of the invaders. He is saying a lot of things recently. And it's like a blind leading other blind people. It's not even taking them out, it's taking them deeper. And unfortunately, he is the man of the moment. Just like those who left Oyedepo and Adeboye are rushing after Adelaja. Adelaja has broken their heart now. They went after Freeze. Freeze is just, the carburetor is just pra. They felt the next Messiah would be J. Israel. We have dealt about what J. Israel said in the other episode, we are continuing on this episode. He's talking about Catholicism, and let's hear what he has to say about Catholicism so that we can put him through. It is just unfortunate that people really castigate Catholicism without knowing that Catholicism is the foundation of Christianity. And as long as you call yourself a Christian, Catholicism is what gives you identity. You cannot be wiser or more Christian than Catholic. You can't. Let's hear.
The Bible makes it very clear. Thou shalt not make any imagery, any image of God, or anything that claims to be an image of God. If you go to the Roman Catholic today, you find so many images. There is an image of Jesus Christ hanging on the cross. And I'm sorry to disappoint you. That man hanging in the Roman Catholic Church, that's not Jesus. We don't know who that man is.
Now, like we used to do, let us start from this note. His claim is that the man that is hung on a tree or is being showcased by the Catholics was it's not Jesus, and then he wants to start picking on the Catholic people, forgetting that not all of us are daft in Africa. Not all of us are stupid in Africa. When it comes to imagery, we have to tell J. Israel that God that they serve says something about not making a graven image. And the same God was the first to break his own law. To break his own law. You know, when you serve a God that speaks from both sides of the mouth, you will never be able to have a solid foundation for your faith or belief. If you want to doubt me that God is mad, crazy, and unstable here in the brain, go to the book of Numbers chapter 21. Numbers 21, let's start from verse 4. We will jump. Verse 4 to verse 8 is talking about how they travel from one place to the other. And the children of Israel said they are tired of not having something nice to eat or drink. And because they murmured or they complained of their situation, all they need is they submitted their complaints to Moses. And the erratic God, sent snakes to them. Now, it is very, very important for us to know the location where this happened to them. This location is called wilderness. In wilderness, snakes abound. Where else do we expect snakes to move around if not in wilderness? In the jungle, in the forest now, you get. But any small thing, any little thing make a village person excited. Imagine this event happened truly. And snakes came out in the wilderness. Where do you expect snake to come out? In the city or in my bedroom? So they encountered snakes and snake was biting them. Then that was a perfect excuse for Moses, who read the law of that God that make no graven image of anything in heaven, on earth, and all that, to not go ahead and say, they said, the Lord said to Moses in verse 8, make a snake and put it on a pole. Anyone who is bitten can look at it and live. So Moses made a bronze snake and put it on a pole. Then when anyone was bitten by a snake and looked at it, he lived. Where was your Jesus hung? On the same pole. On the same pole. What were you told? He said, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of your faith. When you are a theologian, just like me, you realize there's a concept called type and antitype, shadow and manifestation. they will tell you that what Moses did here to justify graven image being made is a type of what is to come, which is Jesus being hung on the tree, that whoever look up to it will be saved. You know, it was Jesus that said, when I am lifted up, I will draw all men unto me, to justify their God. Now, when Catholics do exactly what your God said should be done, you, J. Israel, a small boy in Christianity who knows nothing about the foundation of even this Christianity, came out to open your mouth and say that they are doing what is wrong. Those guys are damn cultists. They know what they are up to, and they are fulfilling these things. They are cultists, and they are doing what they ought to do. As a matter of fact, it will not be an offense to your God if they raise anything on a pole and even bow to it. Because it was your God who told them first to make a graven image of a snake, put it on a pole, and allow people to look up to it. Just like the Christians, we put a Jesus on a pole and look up to it, and condemn we who put our own graven image in our room or in our shrine and also look up to them. But let's move on to Colossians chapter 1 verse 15. You'll see this man is talking from Old Testament now. Why are you talking from Old Testament? Colossians chapter 1 verse 15. It's talking, this is Paul talking. I think we need to also tell J. Israel that Paul is the one who started Christianity. We have dealt on that extensively the last time. And this was Paul, the Paul who started this Christianity, talking to the Christian, describing Jesus. And he used the same word that offended you. Chapter 1. Let's get to verse 15. It said, this Jesus is the image of the invincible God, the firstborn over all creation. He is the image of the invincible God. Can you see there are two words that came out here? Image, invincible God. There is a need to make a reflection of what is unseen. And so there is an image. He was referring to Jesus as the image of the invincible God. A direct contact they can have physically to the invincible God. That is not so. So if you are picking offense because people make a graven image for themselves to be able to have a contact with the invisible God, then maybe you should leave Christianity, because Christianity is about idolatry. And there is even no difference between Christianity and paganism. It's just a remix of paganism that you guys practice. You want to do everything such that you are not caught red-handed. So you zone everything to the sky. Colossians chapter 1 verse 15 told you it's the image of the invisible God. But you are offended because they put up an image of this invincible God. So you will actually tell us, how did you come about your Christianity? Is it not from Catholicism? No one is a Christian that does not have a direct contact or direct relation with Catholicism in this world. Let's continue to hear some more of the things he said.
Because if Jesus is the one hanging in Roman Catholic Church, that means he surely died for the white people. Because the Jesus hanging in the Roman Catholic Church is a white Jesus. And if we are to say Jesus is white, then it simply means the black Indians are excluded. The black Americans are excluded. The black Africans are excluded. He only died for the white people. But I want you to know that there is something deeper I want to present to you tonight. That whenever we talk about the issue of Jesus, the most important thing about Jesus is not the life he lived before the cross, but the most important thing about Jesus is the crucifixion of Jesus, the burial of Jesus, and the resurrection of Jesus. That's the most important part of the whole equation of the cross.
if the most important part of Christianity is the life, is the death of Jesus, the resurrection of Jesus, and the ascension of Jesus, why are Christians killing themselves trying to do works that he did before he died and greater works than that? If the most important thing about Jesus or about Christianity is the death of Jesus, why are you folks, I put it to all the Christians today, why are you folks so concerned about being rich because he was poor, being healed because he was sick, using the stripe and all those nonsense? Why are you not so focused on going to heaven like him, dying and just leaving this world to unbelievers like us? That is the most important, because this man is talking nonsense. If the most important thing is the death of a man, the resurrection of a man, and the ascension of a man, I think what Christians should focus on is on how to die, not how to be doing miracles. The miracles that they use to sap money from people. Not how to be building auditoriums. Not even how to be a broadcaster like he is doing and living large. No, not bad, not that. That is the most important thing. And I don't know if it is illiteracy or whatever. Those who gave you this Jesus never told you that Jesus came from Africa. Were you told he came from Africa? They didn't tell you that Jesus came from India. They told you categorically that this Jesus came from the Jew clan, and you want him to look otherwise? Unfortunately, people even accepted that Jesus do not understand something, that if Jesus is a Jew man, why is the headquarters of Jesus in Rome? If Jesus is an Israeli, why is Pope from Rome or sitting in Rome or Vatican? Why should Christianity be coordinated in Rome? If Jesus is the founder of Christianity and he came from Israel, can you see where you are a Mumu person? We've told you several times that Paul started Christianity, and Paul told us that he is a Roman citizen, and so everything that has to do with Christianity needed to be from Rome, nothing to do with Israel. That's why when you go to Israel, they don't even, 2% of them, even less than 2% of them are the one who revere these Jesus of yours. We Africans must get to a point where we know that all race on earth created a God that looks like them, because there is no God outside the creativity and imagination of man. There is no God outside the creativity and the imagination of man. Any God beyond man is no God at all. And this is my own belief, that God is the man that is trying to express in figure, in speech, in writing, in writings, and in preaching. God is the man is the God that is trying to express. And so the Indian folks created God that looks like them with those their awesome eyeballs. The Chinese decided to say, we have nothing to do with the sky God. We will create a God of fire that have a tiny eye like us. And so they keep to their God. The North Korean idea, worshipping the Kim family as God. The European created the Ptolemy that looks like Jesus and called it their God. The real Jew, they have the Yahweh, God that is an assassin. What God does Africans have? Other people's God. So you constantly see them leaving Islam to Christianity, leaving Christianity back to Islam, leaving both, going to Hindu, leaving Hindu, going to Buddhism, leaving Buddhism, going to Hare Krishna. When will you go back to your own Shango, Oya, and the rest? And let me tell you something, the purpose of God is money. The essence of creating God is to make money. all these nations I told you about, they have stabilized their God and marketed it so much that, voluntary or involuntary, there is an amount of money that all other nations pay to their God in form of pilgrimage. Some people say, I'm now woke. I'm woke in myself. So they will leave Nigeria and go to Egypt and say they want to go and see Otep or all those things. You are still in bondage, Joe. A lot of people who say they are woke, they will now leave Nigeria and go and see Sadhguru in India to go and be worshipping Adiyogi. You are still in bondage until you embrace a God that looks like you. You are not yet free. So if J. Israel is talking about God, Jesus, who is for every, no, Jesus is not for everybody. Jesus especially is not for Africans. Jesus is for the Romans. They profit from it. They dedicated the whole city like a country for it. And no matter how you want to twist it, you are never going to be able to fit in. Let's continue to hear.
For anything else that is beyond the crucifixion, the burial, and the resurrection is beyond the gospel. It has got nothing to do with the gospel. So if you look at Jesus as a white man who came into this world, hanging on the cross, blonde hair, blue eyes, white guy, hanging on the cross, that's not the Jesus who died for you and I. For the Jesus who died for me and you is a Jesus whom we cannot give a color. For when we begin to give him a color, we are excluding a certain race. It simply tells me and it tells you that the Jesus that was presented to Africa by the white man upon his arrival, that white Jesus was part of the colonial system.
All right, so we wait there and we continue. When you don't have a being called Jesus from his explanation, then Jesus never existed. Can we put it that way? When there is no being that cannot be traced to a certain race, a certain color, a certain geographical location called Jesus, then you are validating my point that Jesus never existed. Let's hear him again. Let's hear that part again.
For the Jesus who died for me and you is a Jesus whom we cannot give a color. For when we begin to give him a color, we are excluding a certain race. It simply tells me and it tells you that the Jesus that was presented to Africa by the white man upon his arrival, that white Jesus was part of the colonial system.
Thank you very much. However, is it okay for us to ask J. Israel that there is no other Jesus that Africa know aside from the Jesus that was presented by the colonial masters? And the sole aim of Jesus that was presented by the colonial master is slavery. And it is a concept, not a reality. Is it okay for us to tell him to weigh his words very well? That if Jesus cannot belong to a certain race, if Jesus cannot belong to a certain color, if Jesus does not belong to a certain set of people or clan, if Jesus is a global phenomenon, then Jesus was never a person. Jesus was a fabrication, ideology, and Jesus is synonymous to air, free for all, not here, not there, and just it. Not the son of Mary or Joseph the carpenter, not the son of David or related to Abraham. Can we tell J. Israel that that's what he's saying? Is it okay for those who know how to think very well amongst us here? Is it okay for us to tell him that he has validated our point that if this Jesus is not the son of David that belongs to the Israelis, it's not a grandchild of Abraham, that people are saying Abraham blessings are theirs, it's not from Israel, from the tribe of Judah, and does not have a certain clan, or does not belong to the Mary who gave birth to him or fostered by Joseph, then Jesus never existed at all. that the colonial master that you said brought Jesus because they know that Africans are super religious in nature. And they always look for something to believe. They met us as polytheists. Why do I say so? Because they met us as behaving, living, and knowing that we are gods. We have several gods. And these gods are not gods that we create for ourselves. This God is the God that will leave us and become. And it was easy for them to propagate the gospel of this Jesus because we already have a mentality of spiritual reality and divine manifestation. So, J. Israel, when you speak with sense. Weigh your word. There are intellectual folks who are with you here. Let's go.
The white Jesus who was presented to us by the white folks upon arrival in Africa, he was part of the colonial equation. So that when we look at the white Jesus and we look at the white man, as Africans will begin to shake. And because we'll say, oh no, if Jesus looks like them, then it means they are more superior than us. But that is not the gospel. When we begin to look at Jesus, we don't want to know his color. We don't want to know the color of his hair. But we want to know, what is the color of the blood? The blood is red. The blood of an Indian man is red. The blood of a black man is red. The blood of a white man is red. That is why the most important thing, you don't hear that when Jesus was crucified, there was a shaking that took place. No. But you hear that the moment the blood of Jesus touched the ground, oh my God. The moment the blood of Jesus touched the ground, there was an earthquake that took place.
Now look at him. Look at the man. This is a man who wants to save Africans from colonial mental slavery. You need to be able to choose your Messiah wisely. This is a man who wants to save Africans from being taken for granted by colonial era. And all that he's saying is exactly all the colonial masters told him. Everything he's saying, everything in his imagination, everything he is painting is not outside of what the colonial master told him. Is this your savior, people? Africans, is this who you look up to as the one to take you out of mental slavery that you are in? Except he's telling you a story that is relatable to you and your ancestors. Except he's telling you a story that makes you look inward yourself as complete as an African. Except he's talking to you about something that makes you feel like you don't need salvation because you are complete and you are not faulty. If all he's saying to you is the same thing the Catholic gave to him, if all he's saying to you is the same thing that the colonial master gave to him, he's not setting you guys free. This guy is a nonsense man. We are getting to the point of anger now. He's an absolute nonsense man. And people share his video a lot. A lot of Africans believe in him. You people are the people they should call Mumu people.
There was a shaking in the ground. Not when Jesus was walking on the earth, but when the blood touched the ground. Oh my God. If you go back to the story of Cain and Abel, you hear that the Bible says, and Cain pulled out a knife and he stabbed his brother Abel. The Bible does not say God heard the stabbing of the knife. The Bible doesn't say God heard the screaming of Abel. But the Bible says when the blood of Abel touched the ground, then God in heaven responded. And he said, Cain, Cain, what have you done to your brother? Are you happy with what you have done? God does not respond to your emotions. God does not respond to your tears. God does not respond to your skin color. God does not respond to the color of your hair. But God responds to the blood.
God responds to the blood. J. Israel needs to know that he's a fool. Without being apologetic, J. Israel needs to know that he is showcasing folly. When things happen in Africa, according to African spirituality, They will tell you to bring maybe a goat, a ram, a dove, pigeon, other things like that. So when you spill their blood, nature understands your plea. But when Christians want to do the same right, they will rejoice in the blood of a human being. They are the one who prays against blood-sucking demons. But these are the very blood-sucking demons themselves. Let me tell you something. There's a certain deity in Yoruba land. They call it Ogun. They will say Ogun lakaye oshimale, olomi nle fojewe, olashan le fimoki mobura bi aso. They said Ogun, the one whose wealth spread across the globe, the very first of all the deity, the one who has water at home but cover himself with blood. So when we say that, the Christian folks say, oh, those people are bloody people, they are ritualists, they are I cover myself with the blood of Jesus. Do you understand what just happened there? We speak about a man who covered himself with the blood of animal. And the man who covers himself with the blood of another human being is saying we are evil. So they practically have a service for drinking blood and eating flesh. We don't do that in Africa. That's the God these people serve. He said it, that their God only responds to blood. And a God that only responds to blood, especially the blood of human beings, will kill you someday. This God messed a lot of children up. It's in their Bible. He killed a lot of suckling children. He's killed a lot of nursing mothers. He messed a lot of life up. That's the God he's explaining to you. The exact God that the Europeans gave to him. And the very God he's telling you not to go to. This dude is confused, man. He doesn't even have brain to speak. He's just blabbing and barking. He's no explanatory that this man doesn't even have a deep understanding of what he's talking about. You speak about a God that responds to only the blood of mankind. And you rejoice so much that a human being was killed, called Jesus. And you think your safety is sure because there's a blood that is spilled on the cross. How do people even deal with these Christians? How in this world and universe do people even call themselves Christians and then be proud of a blood that was shed, a blood of a human being shed? For what? That you guys are human ritualists or something? And you are so proud about going to church for Holy Communion to drink the blood and to eat the flesh, and then you call witches and wizards bad. What is going on? We were not thinking before. I thought we were thinking now. This is what people spend their life defending. This is the God people spend all their lifetime defending. A God that can kill at will. Remember the first video I played for you. You are a sheep in his pen. A sheep is meant for slaughtering. That's what Jesus called you. That's what these pastors called you. They call themselves shepherd. The role of a shepherd is to rear a sheep, not to make a sheep free. It is to rear a sheep for the day of slaughtering. They fleece on you, they kill you eventually. And it is on the point that they spill your blood that their God is praised. Can we wake up and reason between the lines?
The moment we begin to talk about the blood of Jesus, that is the moment God will begin to move. As long as we are just talking about the color, we are talking about the hair, we are talking about the race and everything, God is quiet. Immediately, he hears something about the blood, he moves. That is why the Bible says when Moses was sent to Egypt, upon that moment, when God was now saying to Moses, tell my people that on the 12th hour, I want to see blood on the top, on the doorposts. God did not say, I want to see meat. for the meat is nothing. He said, take the meat, burn it, but give me the blood.
To him now.
God did not say, I want the homes.
To him, it has made sense. He's forming some kind of TD Jakes. People listen to this guy now. They listen to this guy. If I should take him up on that meat, flesh, and blood, we would spend the whole time speaking about it. Theologically. Do you know that the time of Passover meal, their God told them not to break the bone of the lamb they will use. And part of the significance of Passover is to eat the flesh of that lamb with a bitter leaf. As a jetogbojuno, for those who understand what I just said. And then to spill the blood. So as a theologian, they tell us that's what happened to Jesus. That his bones were not broken. His flesh was intact, to be buried intact, but his blood was spilled. So both the flesh and the blood matters to your God. J. Israel, you don't know what you are saying. You should shut up. You should go back to theology school. At least if we have to, if you should talk with sense now. Let's lie professionally. Both the flesh, because your God needed the flesh of Jesus for him to rise up again. And people will tell you that Jesus is a type of Elijah who went to heaven with all his bones, all his flesh intact and blood. There is a type of Moses who was hidden by God. So we should ask Israel, does he know what is called type and antitype? Did he study typology in theology? Under theology, did he study typology? He didn't. It's obvious. And that's the reason why Jesus said, this is my body broken for you. As you eat it, remember me. Is that not what you guys say when you want to take Holy Communion? So if it is only the blood that matters to this God, why is the flesh that is represented by bread also important? So if you're thinking it's only blood that your God knows, no, he also knows flesh. It shows you don't know what to. I think he's not worthy of my time. The guy is not worthy of my time. Because people like this make you daft. But I will manage to finish. I think I have 58 seconds more to hear the nonsense of this man. Then we'll move on to the next person and we'll wrap it up.
He didn't say, I want the skin. He didn't say, I want the cows. He didn't say, I want the legs or I want the head. He said, give me the blood. Put the blood on the doorpost. Why? Because there is a heavenly representative who is going to come at the 12th hour. The only language he understands is a bloody language.
I wanted to say bloody God. He has said bloody language. Only a bloody God drinks blood. And only a bloody God understands bloody language. See, that will be the end of J. Israel on this episode for now. Because the guy is stupid. He is. I can't believe that he's doing that. I can't believe that he's up to no good and just talking in the nonsense, talking in the rubbish, talking in the thing that he does not have an idea of at all. Talking so many things. That's what people listen to. That's what people listen to. Moving on, we have a certain, unfortunately it's too tiny. It's too tiny. Even I could not see, but this is Adeboye, right? This is Adeboye. Adeboye was giving a testimony in his own innocence. He was giving a testimony of his time that he was very poor and His uncle was also poor that he was staying with. Whatever they have, they share together. You must have seen the video go agog on the internet. And a certain young girl brought a food to them, which doesn't belong to them. They told the girl, no, no, no. The girl said, yeah, yeah, yeah. And they took the food, they ate it. And later the girl came back and said the food was not meant for them, but they have eaten it. But that's not the problem. People can make mistakes. The problem is that it got to a point where he said, what you don't deserve, a miracle you don't deserve, you will get it. And that sparked me up. It turned me on. And people were shouting amen. You know how they go like a zombie whenever he's talking. So I said, now hear me. A certain man is watching me right now, sent me 100,000 some weeks ago. And I made mistake telling the account number. And the person who got the money must have thought it's a miracle. And there's no refund due today. I said, such testimony is what breed what I call dishonest citizens in our nation today. Dishonest citizenry in our nation today, where people think that whenever someone makes mistake to drop their belongings somewhere, then they should do what? They should claim it and say the sky God has given them miracle. It's so hard to find a honest Nigerian. Why? Because these people feel like what does not belong to them that fall on their lap is a miracle. Because of this kind of man called Adeboye. An old man. Mo de sọ pé bàbá ẹ̀ ní kúre o. Bálálẹ́ bá ní ó sọ yín, alálẹ́ á béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín. Because you are misleading these people. This is why people don't trust Nigerians. The kind of words you hear from these so-called leaders and elders, that you will now be wondering, where is this coming from? There's an Odu, Ifa couples, Ifa verse that said, give what does not belong to you to the owner so that you can have peace. Is existing here in African spirituality. But these people's God is always lawless and very... This God gallivanting corruption and stealing. I don't understand how people get to serve this kind of God. And that's taking us to another guy. Oyedepo, yeah, Oyedepo. The man is really happy recently. We are just having a break. He's happy recently. Is celebrating 10,000 churches planted in 1 year. 10,000 churches planted in 1 year during the time of COVID. It is not 10,000 free school. Let's even say 200 well-equipped hospitals in 1 year. 200 is too much. Let's say 5 international standard hospital built in 1 year. No, they will not celebrate 20,000 free school in 1 year. They won't celebrate healthcare. They won't celebrate infrastructure. They won't celebrate networking of pipe-borne water in 1 year. They will celebrate 10,000 church in 1 year. In the poverty capital of the world, a nation with over 200 population and with so much suffering. This is what the God of the invaders is doing to you. And you know, these 10,000 churches wouldn't have been established if you did not put your token and dime in their care. So we don't blame them fully. We blame you also who sponsor such projects. We blame you who sponsor such thing. So that's it. That's it. Unfortunately, instead of that, in this part of the world, we try our best to put every token to use, every single token to use, by helping children with medical need and all. And that will bring me to this particular, before we continue and we examine one more person. Here is Chidi Ebube. Chidi Ebube has hole in the heart. And maybe subsequently I'll be playing you audio of my interview with her mother. Imagine that the girl has a hole in the heart, and the mother was taking the child to the hospital, to the church rather. Exactly how we lost Paul on this platform, because the mother kept taking him to the church to go and pray for, when the boy should be given medical attention. It was one man who caught this one at the nip and transferred them to us. Having a hole in the heart is not the end of the world, especially when the doctor said they can do it. The surgery has been placed for, I think, 14th of January or so. But we need 2.8 roughly million to get the girl back together. It's time to get to work now. We are not boastful of 10,000 seating capacity. We are boastful of how many lives we have saved. Children that are living because we gave. These people are Christians. That's the most heartbreaking part. These people's parents are Christians. As a matter of fact, the first place they take these children to is church. Church will pray for them. Church will not pay for them. Church will only pray because it's none of church's business. They would rather go and plant churches to rake in more money than to invest money in saving lives. To invest more money in saving lives. We need your help to save GTBANK. This is a picture. She's been through a lot, and she's really losing it. She's really losing it. And we have conducted our researches. We have documents from the hospital, from OAU Teaching Hospital, that backs it up. This is the document to back it up. And I got a video of the mother also explaining. We'll be playing it at the end of this particular broadcast. So we move on to the next person we want to examine today. It is the person of Daddy Freeze. I know that's the reason why most of you are here. It's the person of Daddy Freeze. Now, there are a lot of people out there who would say, but you guys are friends and all. Now, let me quickly give you explanation of this man called Freeze now, today. In case you don't know. When I came out to start speaking against what Redeemed Christian Church of God was doing, that is bad. A lot of people started publishing what I was saying. Linda AKG and the rest. A lot of bloggers. And I even had the opportunity of being interviewed by BBC and several international media to give recount. And so Free started reaching out to me, wanted to get interview from me. And then sent a friend from, not really a friend, acquaintance, from Italy to me, who came home because of that, and I attended it. And the knowledge I had was I'm going to Cool FM, but eventually Cool FM could not hear me, and we spoke on Freeze's platform. A lot of people, some of them are still staying back, who know me today, knew me from Freeze's platform. And but then you must understand that there's a difference between someone's platform and the person who owns the platform. It's like going to a broadcasting station. If you go to a broadcasting station to hear your view, and the broadcasting station mess up tomorrow, you are under no oath to not castigate them. But when you look at people and you see that their intentions are not pure, that their ways are very wayward, and you have a long way to go, and your intention is different, or you have your way is far, it will be a lot of good for you to retract yourself. Because there is no reason why someone who is selling a wagon cannot move around with someone who is selling bread yakeke. When the person selling a wagon is moving around with someone who is selling sliced bread, their destiny will collide. So it's better they go their separate ways. It's the same bread, but they don't use sliced bread to eat a wagon now. And that was the case. I had to leave. I had to let them go. And I called him out when he was talking about Johnson Suleiman and the rest. I told him that something is wrong. Something has exchanged hand. Freeze is a type of person that is so sentimental and very nepotistic. And he doesn't call a spade as long as it is his own person that is at fault. Every single thing he wished to be is what he criticized. The attention he thought those people are getting is what he wanted. The kind of preferential treatment he thought those people are getting is what he wanted. The fame he thought they are getting, he wanted it. And every single thing he has laid his hands on is to publicize himself. That's not my own problem. The money is not what I'm looking for. The liberation is what I'm for. Are we for the emancipation of Africans from the slavery of Europeanism? Or we just want to rebrand? And he said, religion is the opium of the masses, as said by one of these famous man who died, and they needed something to hold on to, a kind of dope. And he's giving them that. And remember one time he said that it's always in the wrong place. And I'm always happy I left. I disconnected from him. A case of Hush Puppy, the criminal that was sentenced, taken to Chicago. Let's even hear. That's Daddy Freeze talking. Because when he went, I was wondering, he even mentioned that if Jesus happens to land in Dubai on that day, that Jesus will prefer to dine and wine with Hush Puppy than any pastor in Dubai. That was when things were still loose. Now, I just want you to know something about Freeze, that is a fit liquor. He's still criticizing Adeboye and Oyedepo. For now, let them give him attention. He will twist his tongue and he will change his mind. The moment he gets what he wants, which is attention, the best thing you can give to Freeze is attention. Ignore him and you are in bad soup. Give him attention, you are in his good book. And the attention he can crave for it from anyone and anyhow. Why am I bothered? Not because of Freeze, but the people that want to live like Freeze. You people will be worse than where you're coming from. It is better you stay with those who threaten you with hell and heaven than for you to follow him. Because this one does not even know where he's going to. Just like J. Israel, he would defend the lies with the last pint of blood in him, knowing that this is wrong, knowing that this is all lies and fallacy and false. But how will he sustain the fame, the money? Because to him, every single person that gave him attention is converted to money. Yes, yeah.
Because for where we they come, Hush Puppy no glitch up. Now this talking just they shout. Don't be play.
I swear.
Then they use the food beg us.
8 times, 10 times in a whole month.
You know this guy sometimes he gets scared.
Hush Puppy's driver is on 700K a month. You know that are abusing him. You are working houseboy work, they are paying you 35,000. You will go on Instablog and abuse Hush Puppy.
The salary my driver they collect is almost near commission and salary. You get paid, I swear. I swear. They collect money past local government chairman.
That's it.
Shey una dey hear. All of
Jessica,
na we dey
my
abuse.
cleaner, they collect 2.5. That's 250,000. Driver, they collect 700,000. So
Instead of make you beg Hush Puppy, maybe if you use your papa to driver.
they're not go green.
They said instead for you to beg Hush Puppy so that I will use your father to do taxi driver. Now this is the leader of Free the Sheep or Free Nation, or Free Nation Africa or whatever they call it. Free Nation, yeah. You see, now it is impossible for you not to know that Hush Puppy is dealing in something that is not pure. And he was saying that, you know what he said when he went there? I said it. He said if Jesus is in Dubai at that day, he would prefer to dine and wine with Hush Puppy than go to any pastor's house. When Hush Puppy was extradited to America, you know what this idiot said? I call him idiot and a fool. You know what he said? He said he's just doing his job as a journalist to give publicity to a fraudster. And on the day he was saying, people who understand, who really have good memory will remember what I'm saying. On the day he was saying that Jesus would rather dine and wine with Hush Puppy, he also said that he went to Dubai, that people did not come to meet him, to greet him. Did they ask you to come to Dubai? There is only one person who left his work. That's because that one is actually jobless. People don't leave their work in abroad. It's in Nigeria that people, and unfortunately you can't get that kind of publicity in Nigeria and go around and say people should come and meet you and lynch you. They said you did your birthday and then people did not give you gift and they are giving you 35,000. All those. The priest that I know, when he sees this video, he will go and talk and do all those things. He said that he do a shading by the side without mentioning name, or do outright whatever, and that's okay. But I'm not hypocritical, and I don't want to be. I am just saying that when you want to live Christianity as it is, and you are saying you are a leader, and you want the good of Africans, why don't you lead them to be Africans instead of still bringing this imported religion into them? I wonder if Freeze has ever read the book of Deuteronomy chapter 13 from verse 6. Deuteronomy chapter 13 from verse 6. It says that if your brother, your sister, your wife, or your mother try to entice you, say, come, let us worship a God that you do not know, or the God that your ancestors do not know. He said, don't listen to them. He said, even if they tell you to worship the God of your neighbors, or the God that was brought to you from the outer part of the world, he said, don't listen to them. Your God even said you should kill such people. So how come you worship a God that was brought from Israel, brought from Rome? A knowledgeable person should be able to read between the lines that these men are not for you, they are against you. They are after your destruction, and your destruction is what brings money to their table. It's in their Bible I'm quoting. If Freeze has ever read the Bible, let him go back there and watch it very well. It is the God of the invaders that said to everyone that you should not take a foreign God for yourself. Jesus is a foreign God. The sky God is a foreign God. And that's what you remix and publish to people all of the time. You want to be a journalist, be a journalist. You want to be a pastor, be a pastor. You want to be a reformer, be a reformer. If you want to be a liberator, be a liberator. Don't be everywhere at the same time, because you are confused, man. Really confused. Really confused. And that's why I'm going to be bringing. Have we finished watching this one? It's like 12 seconds remaining. Let's hear it.
But not true now. Your part day village, you no get work.
Come to think of it, that's true.
You go to social media, they abuse.
How much bank manager?
Collect for this.
So he gave Hush Puppy all the praise he needs. Unfortunately, Hush Puppy is in prison now, so we can't say the same anymore. He mingle with always the wrong people. He gravitates. Is that the right word? He gravitates towards everything that is against morality. Against morality. People can go and search me out and say, what is the fault of this guy? I embrace African spirituality. Òòṣà bàbá mi lè mi ń bọ, èmi sì lòòṣà náà. Orí mi là pé, orí mi là pé sìn, orí tẹ́já fi ń labú, orí mi ni mò ń bọ. I don't worship the sky god. And I teach my people how to embrace their self, especially in the Yoruba way. So whatever you want to say, you can say it. I've never identified to be an atheist before. I believe in Godship, but I don't believe that Godship is in the sky. I believe it's in me. And I believe I'm that God. I believe I'm that God. Now, we are going to be seeing something monumental. And I am so disappointed because I could not go ahead to play, to get all the clip. It's so long. A certain man called Johnson Suleiman, who is a good friend of Freeze, whom Freeze uses his own public life to defend, came out and said this nonsense. He said this nonsense. You must have seen it flying around.
One of my sons, he lives in Germany. One day was praying, and the Lord gave me a prophecy for a church in France. So he was praying for them. God said, no, you will go to France. He started laughing because he didn't have documents. Normally, if you have documents, if you don't have documents, you don't even go around the airport. If you have a guest, you see them off, getting close to the airport, you just turn back. Because the catch is very easy, just to put you on the next plane and bring you home. So he said, I don't have documents. The Lord said, go. God said, go. He got to the airport. People were on the queue to present their passport, their tickets, and all. The Lord said, stay on the queue. He stayed on the queue. No document, no passport, no ticket. God said, move. He moved. Just 7 people before him, he was saying, so now so I say go out. 6 persons more. The Lord said, enter the restroom. In Germany, enter the restroom. Well, that's said, is this God I'm hearing saying I should go to France? As he entered the restroom, the Lord said, pray. He started speaking in tongues. Praying. When he opened his eyes, the Lord said, go out. When he went out, he was walking out of France airport toilet. France. He prayed in Germany. He was walking out of France. You know your problem? What?
Thank you, Suleiman. You see, the problem is not Suleiman who is talking. The problem are those idiots, those fools, those nincompoops who were shouting. I listened to one of Suleiman's talk during all of this, his testimony. He said he was preaching in Ghana. I listened to these people a lot. He said he was preaching in Ghana one time, and the Lord is always the Lord. The Lord said, there's a woman here who is waiting for the fruit of the womb that the Lord said it is done, that she's already pregnant. So the woman got home and the husband traveled. And the woman said, this is what Pastor said and all that. He said, after 3 months, the woman got pregnant. He said, not only the woman's mother got pregnant again. Sorry, after 3 months, the woman delivered of a boy. The same with the mother of the woman. That be careful of who you are with when prophecy is going out. That it can transfer to you also, or you can transmit to you also. After 3 months. He said the Lord backdated the pregnancy. People were shouting, hey. I'm like, what kind of witchcraft is this? Now you stay in Germany airport toilet and you meet yourself in France airport toilet. You did not lodge yourself into a psychiatric home that you are mad. That something is wrong with you. And the man who is telling you, some people said it's supernatural, that it can happen and all that. I said, no problem, now it can happen. But do you know the other day that they didn't give Oyedepo visa the way he was barking like a dog in America? Why didn't he go into the toilet of Muritala Mohammed Airport? Why will he, Suleiman, go and buy private jet to be flying from one place to the other? If it is very cheap, at least the Lord can tell you to enter toilet. Go back Canada. Kini buruku to fori to chori bi igun. Why will the church pastors in this nation tell you to come to church with your passport, international passport, to come and pray to it so that they can give you visa? If going into toilet of one airport and landing in where you are going to is the key. How do you mislead people this way and you expect people like us to keep quiet? Why do pastors why do pastors even give testimony of them getting visas? Do you know what? When Adeboye said he drank tea with God, Freeze said it's a lie. When Adeboye said he drove his car from Shagamu to Lagos without fuel, Freeze said it's a lie. When Oyedepo said the flyer of his program was speaking in tongue and liberated people from kidnappers' den. Freeze said it is a lie. But when Suleiman said somebody teleported from airport toilet in Germany to France, Freeze said it is scriptural. Did Abraham not serve your God, meat and yogurt? Did he not eat and dine and wine with God? Is that not scriptural? Why shouldn't the Adeboye drinking tea with God scriptural? This idiot will open his mouth and lie, and that other one, Freeze, will also back. They do programs together. They afasegbe jo ntanra eje ni ihun tó payin po padà túnyé ká. And I'm telling you that these people, either you are in the four walls of the church or you are in the free nation of the online, you are still going to the same frying pan, and the same fire will still roast you, except you dump everything that has to do with this. I don't understand why someone will just come, tell you someone disappeared from year to year. Now, as a Yoruba person who understands the way, I'm sure Freeze must have been talking about one Apostle Philip who was baptizing one Ethiopia eunuch and all those shenanigans and all that. Anyone who believes that Jesus was born of a virgin without sexual intercourse can believe any nonsense. But if you believe that snake spoke in the Garden of Eden, you can believe that I'm the President of the United States. You should be able to believe that. Anyone who believes that a human being evaporated into the sky, that chariot of fire came to carry a human being and enter into the cloud, you can believe anything. Should I blame you? I can't blame you, because ori e ko pe. And they know how to twist this thing to meet their own aim and objective. And so they told me, you can't go against this, because in Yoruba spirituality, something like that happened. I said, there are two things that makes you disappear when you use our traditional way. One is what we call disappearance, which is affairi. You do not go anywhere when you disappear. You are in the same spot, you are in the same place when you disappear. It's illusion. It is illusion. A very fast speed illusion. The people around you who are not sensitive will not be able to see you. Whoever is there who knows how to find you will call you back and you will appear again. You don't move to another place. You stay where you are. That is what we call a fairy disappearance. Temporary disappearance. There's another one we call egbe, which is close to teleportation. Teleporting. Egbe. However, egbe is not something you will initiate. Egbe initiates itself. Oti gemora bi ajesara. So when there's a danger, when someone will shoot you, when you want to get involved in an accident, it picks you, put you somewhere else. But it will not put you in a good place. Like putting you on the top of a very mighty tree in Amazon, or putting you in a lion's den, or putting you on transformer, or in a live wire, or you should go and put you inside army barrack, or go and put you inside Sambisa forest. So our fathers refuse to do, they stop it. Even we don't do that. Or these people claim they can. I'm looking for just 10 Christians who believe in Johnson Suleiman's God very well. I will pay for their transportation, and I will take them to Muritala Mohammed Airport, lock them in the toilet, tell them to go into France, or let's say UK. Go to Gatwick, let's say. You go nowhere. This man will mess your life up. And that's the kind of person Freeze is. A man who called white black and called black white because it is convenient for him. Because it is convenient. Just for convenience sake, he lies and back evil up without provocation. Without provocation. You know, we would have moved on to another one today, but let's finish hearing what this man.
What you have not experienced looks somehow to you. But those of us who have been privileged to experience a dimension of this is natural. You can disappear. You can disappear. Oh.
You can disappear. Tell Suleiman to disappear. Tell him to go and sell his private jet. Maybe he can disappear. Tell Suleiman to sell his private jet. Maybe it's scriptural. Tell Freeze to sell his car and be moving from his room to his place of work, from his place of work to Romania, from Romania to Yugoslavia, from everywhere. Because it is scriptural. Allah go say. And this man will destroy you. When you begin to think this way and you speak these things when you get to the West, that's why you are jobless in the West. Because you believe in those lies so much. And a white man will be like, I can't trust this person with something sensitive. He will use religion to mess it up. No. Get me some white man like myself. You can disappear. Let him disappear without his private jet to everywhere you want to go and preach. Let him burn his passport and all his visa and enter toilet. Oluwayele yagbe. Come on, to ibole yagbe kiri tori o fe disappear. These people will.
He was coming out of France airport. Was shocked. When he was done, time to go back. And he was asking, how do I go? The Lord said, how did you come? The supernatural.
You see, the supernatural is obstructing justice and perverting rules and regulations that governs the land. You know how many people these people has led astray? They tell you have confidence. Go and tell your boss to promote you and you will go and be displaying new lances. Wọ́n wá refer sí arrow. Wọ́n wá gbaṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Ó dàbí ó ti ya wèrè. You know how many times these people have misled people and tell them I will help you do some things and they will give you visa, they will give you this in abroad. Their God just find a way to break rules and regulation and mess things up. Whenever corruption favors them, these people call it grace of God. Whenever times tells them to wait, they say it's cheating. People practically go to churches because they want to cut corners. The lotto mentality, drop 10, you will get 50 back, is what church is enriching itself upon. So they render Africans useless. We forgot the days where we work, we break the sweat, we till the ground, and we make it happen for ourselves. And we begin to live in illusion of saying, send down fire, Holy Ghost fire, send down your power again, Holy Ghost fire. If the fire is coming, it's you that it will burn. No. So you better be careful what you are calling. So some of you want to reap where you did not sow. You want to get what you did not give. You want to harvest what you did not plant. All in the name of this God of invaders. You want to move from one airport toilet to another airport toilet. Do you know how many people will be thinking that they should move? They should move. He rendered them useless in mental space. So they will be living like lunatics. As young as you live in this universe, according to the African way that I know, what goes up comes down. You must observe the principle and regulation. How are you proud that you even disappear into another person's territory without a proper documentation and paper? Do you know how many people are being deported from abroad every single month, every single day to this Nigeria? Are they not Christians? Can they disappear to another place? Where is the God of Elijah? Where is the God of Abraham? Where is that God of Isaac and Jacob? Where is the God called Jesus that he can't help them? I speak the truth to the authority, and I only wish that your brain can come home and you see that these men are destroying you.
The problem we have is that we are too used to the natural life. God can bless you without you playing games, without gimmicks, without lies.
It is a bad situation we find ourselves. That these men also can be called leaders of some sort, of any sort. It is the most perilous time in Africa that we find ourselves to have these lunatics, these fools, these con artists, these nonsense people. I don't have time much to deal with Freeze. He has a lot of nonsense that he's been preaching, and only a madman will have enough patience to listen to that guy. Absolutely empty. I wonder the content of the brain of those who listen to him. I wonder. I wish I could move on to talk about Bushiri today. I have a video of testimonies against Bushiri. Remember, he has run away from South Africa to his place in Malawi, because the guy is absolutely criminal. So I'm asking now that Bushiri has run away and left his church, ECG or whatever they call it, in shambles, those who claim he is their covering, what is covering them now? People that claim that Bushiri is their covering in life, who is covering and what is covering them now? When will you people wake up? You see that J. Israel that is talking? Wait for his time too. Is it not South Africa? Is it Nigeria that people can say, oh, and make away with it? Make away with it. Make away with it. Here is a video from the mother of the poor girl we're trying to help. I don't know. The video is kind of upside down. Let me see if I can. Okay. I'll be bringing up the video very soon. We just need your help. The poor girl is having hole in the heart, and we want to have a surgery done by January. The surgery is in January. I want you to hear from the horse's mouth so that we will know that we're not trying to just make up story. We need your help. We need your help. We'll be scrolling the account number to put in money very soon.
My daughter's name is GTBANK. I born her in 7th January 2020. She have problem in her heart. I carried her to Children's Hospital. The time she is having cough and catarrh, I carried her to Children's Hospital. They noticed that it's not only cough and catarrh, and they refer me to go and do echo. I went there and bring the results. The doctor said that she have problem in her heart and have holes, that we should go to any teaching hospital. We went there. The doctor said that we do another echo so that they will be sure. We do it. The doctor said that they will not handle the case, that the hole is too much. We asked the doctor how much the thing will cost, because the doctor said that we should go to India. He said that the thing will cost almost 5 million. My husband and I is crying there. I beg them because we don't have money. They say that they cannot do anything. We come back and we go another hospital, Obafemi Awolowo Oleife. We went there. They do another echo for my daughter Chidebube, and noticed that it's not only 4 holes, it's 6 holes, and another problem too. And before I went there, my daughter is sick, and they admitted us. My daughter stay in oxygen almost 2 weeks, and before she's getting better, they discharge us and say that the amount they will use to do echo is 2.7 million, and we did not have this much money. I'm used to beg. I beg, please, 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 please help me. I don't have such kind of money, and my daughter is dying. When we come back, she starts coughing. She cannot eat. Please, I'm begging.
It's really heartbreaking, the things we face here, having to deal with parents whose children are sick, and having to be the one who go in the forefront to ensure that everything is fine and okay. It's really pathetic, but what else can we do? What else can we do than to help the little girl? The mother told me that maybe she took her to this church and all. I think let me play the audio. For people who want to give a token or two, this is the account number to use. We will be announcing the amount of money we get on all our social media platforms as time goes on. But I wanted to have a view, a listening of this particular conversation with the woman when she first reached out to me.
My husband did not even have such amount.
So they pray for her?
They used to pray for her. They have already treated the cough. I carried her come home. Yesterday the cough started again.
And you know this thing now. Okay, you took the child to church for prayer. Are we saying the prayer did not work for what you wanted to work for?
I used to carry her go prayer. Whether God will help me.
Obviously now God cannot help you. You see the mistake you people make. When children are sick, you will be taking them to church instead of looking for help at the time they can still survive. What if things, anyway, what I will do is I will need so many evidences from you. Document that you got from hospital, the medical bills from the hospital, everything, the picture of the girl. If Marvel can do a little video for me, I would also appreciate it about the child. And this simple thing you told me now, if you can also.
All right, that's a peep of our conversation, of our private conversation when we were talking, and it's such a gory story to hear that this is the account you can help us put a token in, and we need to get the money ready before the second week in December, so the girl does not lose the slot of surgery by January. So she doesn't lose the slot of, we are doing the surgery second week of January. We need to get the money paid into the account of the hospital by the second week of December, so they will know we are very serious. This is the kind of things I thought these guys should be rallying around to do, since we have a very highly irresponsible government in the nation. But they are opening churches and building 10,000 churches in it. They're lying to people that they are moving from Germany to France with going to a toilet to go and speak, to go and talk nonsense, to go and talk rubbish. Please help us to save this girl. We hope that we can save this one. We lost Paul. Paul was lost because the mother reported late. Paul was at the last stage of his cancer before he was taken to the hospital, because the mother thought God is going to heal this child. The boy was already bleeding from the nose, from the eyes, from the ear before we got the case. We rallied around, we got the money for Paul within 4 days, and we settled it. And this one is coming again. They have tried God, now they are trying you. Be a God in the life of this little girl. Let's help her to get this echo, whatever they. So stressful to have children who have trouble. Unfortunately, that's the reason why we started Crystal Love Support Foundation. Thank you very much for listening today, and we are hoping to hear from you. Whenever I come online, I'll sure bring update of what we need to do. This is the account number to use. It's scrolling beneath and it's also showing. Thank you very much. Next time we meet together, we will continue on the case of Bushiri and the rest of them. Sunday Adelaja is not going off our grip. We are just trying to make sure that it comes into future at the right time. I speak blessings to you if you are the type that know how to work hard. And I speak common sense to you if you are the type that is looking for blessing to come from the sky. You are an African. Be good, be one. Be in love and serve humanity. Bye for now.